so John, just picking up on where you were at there, John Calvin, that great Protestant reformer, he said that the human heart is an idol factory, and that pretty well summarizes everything that you were just saying, because we know, like you were touching on, what idolatry is and what it means. And even at the end of his first epistle, John tells us in John 5:21, "Little children, keep yourselves from idols," which is pretty interesting because he's given all these tests, right? If you love God, you'll manifest your love for God in various ways: love for a neighbor, caring for other people, etc. And this provides a test, a means that God uses to help us to know and be assured that we're children of God. And so it's always interesting. At the very end of that epistle, he said, "Little children, keep yourselves from idols," because, like you said, an idol is anything that's ultimate in our lives. We attach ultimate meaning and value and purpose, and that's what was such a direct affront to God with the people of Israel, because we know that they made a covenant with God, a commitment to God, to be loyal to God, to walk with God, and they dishonored God. They dishonored God's name by pursuing idols, and God told them. The thing that people forget, people think that the God of the Old Testament is cruel and harsh, but what God was doing in the Old Testament is they had made a commitment to Him, and God had made a commitment to them. And what people forget is God is not cruel. He operates in a different way than we do. But God swore by His own name to be their people, to be our people, to be with us, as His people. And this is totally the opposite. When we break our word, we become liars. We lack integrity. But God is the opposite of that, because God says in Titus 1:2 that He will never lie. In Hebrews 6, God has made an oath and a promise, and it's a guarantee based on it and binding on His own character. So we can say God will never act. God will always act, consistent with His own character, because that's who He is. He can do no other. And that is actually the most amazing thing in the world, if you think about it, because we're talking about the God who actually made us, who sustains this world and everything in it. And this new age word of faith, even all these things that promise healing and abundance and life and meaning and value, they're all just poor substitutes. They're counterfeits. They can never ultimately satisfy. Only what God can offer us can truly satisfy, and that's why people pursue these things, because they want truth, but they don't want God's truth. They don't want God's word, because, like we'll talk about here in just a minute, in a few minutes, they love the appearance of godliness, but they don't want godliness itself. They don't want Christ Himself. And of course, that's Romans 1, right? The creature would rather be the creator, and the creator is the only creator. So we can't replace that order. The creator is a creator, and we are the creature, and that's how God has made us. So